Hi, I am Jeremy Pritchard. I play bass in a band called Everything Everything. We are at NHC Music in Glasgow, and this is Spiderland by Slint. When I was first getting into music as a teenager in like the early 2000s, growing up in the southeast, we had quite a healthy post-hardcore or math rock scene, and people would talk about this record and about this band in sort of hushed tones, but I never heard the album until quite a lot later. A friend of mine went to Brighton for the day, went to Resident Records, and there was a CD copy of this in there, and it had a special handwritten note that one of the guys in the shop had used, and it said, "You have to buy this," basically. It's better than you think. It's better than you realise. And my friend bought it, and then I didn't hear it again for some weeks, and then I went round to his house and he said, "Before you go," I was just about to leave, he's like, "Before you go, I think you'd really enjoy this riff." And he put on, I think it was Nosferatu Man, which is the second track here. And I remember very distinctly having my insides kind of turned out by it. And I could also immediately hear all the bands that I was into in the local scene, how they had arrived where they had through this sort of exposition of the genre, I suppose. These are kids who are about 20 years old at this point. This is their second album. They've come out of the late 80s rock scene in America, sort of Motley Crue, Aerosmith. It's all macho, bravado, big cock rock guitar poses, and this is the opposite of all of that. There's a real vulnerability, and there's an innocence to the whole thing. I mean, look at the cover. They're swimming in the local quarry. I think the best way to listen to this record is probably on your own, to be honest. It's not a party album, although I have been at parties where this has been played, but they've been very particular groups of people. Blokes in bands, basically. Steve Albini recorded this band's first album, first Slint record, which is called Tweeze, and he famously reviewed this for the Melody Maker and awarded it 10 fucking stars, which is the best review I've ever heard of any record. It's a really young band making a really unprecedented sound. Nothing before this sounds like this. And then after this you've got Tortoise, Mogwai, Charlotte Field, all of which inspired groups like my own and Foals, who we're currently touring with, a huge amount. So it's nice to be able to see the through line because of this thing.